There you go.
Perfect. Thanks, Joanna. So hi, everyone. I just wanted to say welcome to hErvolution's Earth Day workshop. My name is Sarah. I'll do a further introduction in a bit once I talk kind of a bit about what hErvolution is. So a little bit about hErvolution, kind of the slogan, inspiring girls to embrace STEM careers. So hErvolution is a nonprofit organization focusing on inspiring girls and young women who are facing multiple barriers to embrace STEM careers. They're based in Toronto, Canada, and hErvolution is the go-to place for youth, particularly young women from underserved communities, to come to in order to advance 21st century skills. We exist to create opportunities for the next generation of women in STEM, connecting them with leaders in the industry for career support. We listen to the needs of the community and that of the STEM industry to better help the next generation of underserved youth with a focus on young women to enter STEM. In service of our mission and an opportunity for current and future college and university leaders passionate about improving gender equity in STEM, hErvolution is launching the hErvolution Ambassador program as an opportunity to bring more diversity into STEM. So a little bit about myself. I am a hErvolution Ambassador. As I said, my name is Sarah. I'm a third-year university student at the University of Guelph, and I'm studying applied human nutrition with an emphasis in dietetics. I'm also on the varsity women's rowing team at the University of Guelph, which is super fun. And I do plan to go to medical school, hopefully the year after next, once I finish my undergraduate degree. And I do want to live in Northern Ontario, which is where I reside now, and be a family physician there. I joined the Ambassador program at hErvolution because I want to help try and end the gender gap in STEM careers. I also want to educate young girls who potentially may be facing barriers on what STEM careers have to offer and how to pursue a career in STEM. So just to give a little bit of overview of kind of what the workshop and presentation is going to be like today, I'm going to give a couple fun facts about each of these topics. So food systems and climate change, single-use plastics, the carbon cycle, energy conservation, and then we're going to get into the kind of interactive workshop part where we're going to determine our carbon footprint. And then after we kind of figure out what that is, we're going to brainstorm ways to lower our carbon footprint. So getting into the first topic of food systems and climate change. The fact number one, an estimated 1,800 gallons of water go into a single pound of beef. With that much water, you could take 105 8-minute showers a day. Fact number two, food is the cause of 30% of all carbon emissions. Fact number three, beef produces the most greenhouse gas emissions, which include methane. A global average of 110 pounds of greenhouse gases is released per 3.5 ounces of protein. Fact number four is raising animals for food takes up half of all water used in Canada. Moving on to fact number five, animal agriculture takes up land and is a leading cause of deforestation. In 2018, 30 million acres of tropical rainforest were lost, which is equivalent of 43 football fields a minute. As you can imagine, that is quite a lot of deforestation due to animal agriculture. Fact number six, plant-based meat uses 72 to 99% less water than conventional meat. The liters per water per kilogram of meat is just the measurements. Fact number seven is plant-based meat requires no antibiotics at all. It also greatly reduces the risk of antifungal resistance, which can arise from the use of fungicides on crops because plant-based meat requires much less crop production than conventional meat. Sometimes you'll see slogans. The first thing that comes to mind for me is like A&W when they have the burgers like raised without antibiotics. That's because lots of beef products and animal products are raised with antibiotics to kind of make their meat better, but plant-based meat, this fact is saying that they don't use antibiotics at all. Fact number 8 is producing animal-based foods generates more greenhouse gas emissions than plant-based foods, which is why shifting towards a more plant-based diet or more plant-forward diet is recognized as a solution for curbing greenhouse gas emissions and addressing climate change. So moving on to single-use plastics. Fact number 1 for single-use plastics is around 380 million metric tons of plastic are being produced yearly. 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic have been produced since plastic was introduced in the 1950s. The amount of plastic produced in a year is roughly the same as the entire weight of humanity. And we will learn later what the decomposing time for a plastic bottle is, and it's quite a long time. So imagine 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic and how long it takes to decompose. Our world is filled with plastic. Fact number 2, humans use about 1.2 million plastic bottles per minute in total. Approximately 91% of plastic is not recycled, and roughly half of our global annual plastic production is destined for a single-use product. So for example, a straw, plastic utensils. So roughly half of our plastic production is for those single-use products. Fact number 3, virtually every piece of plastic that was ever made still exists in some shape or form, with the exception of the small amount that has been incinerated. As we will see later, as I already said, we will see that the decomposition time is quite a while. Fact number 4, Canadians purchase about 50 billion water bottles per year, averaging about 13 bottles per month for every person in Canada. That means by using a reusable water bottle, you could save an average of 156 plastic bottles annually. Fact number 5, 5 trillion plastic bags are produced worldwide annually. It can take up to 1,000 years for a bag to disintegrate completely. By switching to reusable shopping bags, we can eliminate that waste, which amounts to about 307 bags per person. Fact number 6, Canadians alone use 500 million drinking straws every day. As you can see, many fast food chains and restaurants are shifting to paper straws. So this fact might be a little bit outdated. I think it's from last year's Earth Day facts, but I kind of be curious to see what this number is now that fast foods have shifted from plastic to paper. Fact number 7, at least 14 million tons of plastic end up in our oceans every year. Many countries lack the infrastructure to prevent plastic pollution, such as sanitary landfills, incineration facilities, recycling capacity, and circular economy infrastructure, and proper management and disposal of waste systems. Fact number 8, when plastics end up in landfills, they aren't harmless. They break down into tiny toxic particles that contaminate the soil and waterways and enter the food chain when animals accidentally ingest them. And then imagine that when we ingest the animals. Moving on to the carbon cycle. So just to give a kind of bit of overview what the carbon cycle is, I didn't really know too much about it either before going into university. So carbon is one of the most important and abundant elements in the universe. Carbon can be found in all organic matter, which means all living things. The main processes of the carbon cycle are photosynthesis and cellular respiration, which is how plants, animals, and people breathe. Plants by photosynthesis, and then animals and us by cellular respiration. Photosynthesis is the process where plants take in carbon and release oxygen, whereas cellular respiration is when animals and people take in that oxygen produced by plants and release carbon dioxide. When we hear about reducing our carbon footprint, it's actually referring to carbon dioxide, because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas that contributes to the greenhouse effect, which keeps the Earth at temperature warm enough for us to survive. The trapped heat from this carbon dioxide causes the planet's temperature to increase, causing global warming and changing the climate all over Earth. This is kind of just a diagram of the carbon cycle showing the how the sun helps produce energy for photosynthesis, and then they create oxygen for us, which we breathe in. And basically kind of what that carbon dioxide does to our planet. So you can see the fossil fuel combustion. Combustion involves that carbon dioxide, and then it's released into the atmosphere, which increases the heat of the planet and causes global warming. And then we'll move on to the carbon footprint activity. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, or a phone or a computer, just to take down some numbers, that would be beneficial. I did put like my examples at the bottom so you would know how to do it, but we will start that